process of employment at the Ignatius Ajuru University. Okay, so I'm just going to read from the Facebook page of the Government House Media, Rivers State. It says, Rivers State Governor Sir Siminalayi Fubara says the cancelled employment process at the Ignatius Ajuru University of Education in Rumolumeni community due to intolerable irregularities will be revisited and the process restarted. This is as he assured that the new governing council was now in place to oversee the process and ensure elimination of the irregularities that hampered the previous process. Governor Fubara gave the assurance at the Gate Government House in Port Harcourt today, on Monday. It's written on Monday, but I mean today, when he received some protesters who came to register their grievances as victims of the botched process. Now, the governor, who was represented by the head of Rivers State Civil Service, Dr. George Wigwe, told the protesters that it is not correct that the Fubara-led administration had neglected them or abandoned the process. The governor explained that the employment process was cancelled because what was done contravened the initial approval given to the institution. Now, Governor Fubara said the management of the institution was directed based on their requests to employ only 867 staff, with 420 of such persons being academic staff, but regretted that the institution employed 1,900,000 persons, with only 123 being academic staff, which was grossly unacceptable. So now I think I have an understanding of what the problem is, and I do believe you also have an understanding of what the problem is. So I don't know, for those of you who have been critics of the cancellation of this employment process, what are your thoughts? For those of you who also have been praising the cancellation of this employment process, what are your thoughts? I like to hear from both sides of the argument, of the debate, right? So let's see, am I missing out any other thing? The governor urged the protesters to organize themselves properly so that it will be easy to interface with them when the employment process recommences, because only qualified persons will be employed within the stipulated number. All right, that being said, let us move now to the next big story. Remember, I like to get your thoughts shortly when I open the phone lines. And to my next big story, it's from the weekend. However, it is still trending on social media right now. Some notable Nigerians gathered in Rivers State, Ishokpo, in Ikoyi local government area to be precise, and it was for a very sad event. Remember, Wigwe, his wife, his son, had died in a helicopter crash. I beg your pardon, in a helicopter crash in the United States, and they were buried yesterday. And some notable Nigerian who occupies the office of the Senate President was given the mic, and he made some comments that many people are reacting to, some for, some against, as usually is the case. Some are saying, oh, you should not have used that occasion, very sad occasion, to make silly jokes and make silly statements that are not necessary. Some said, oh, it's not a big deal. But I wonder what side you're on, because first of all, the Senate President talked about not getting as much applause as Peter Obi. Started by saying, because I was not a presidential candidate. A lot of you in reading, call the name of the church, I don't know if I'm allowed to, but he said a lot of you would not clap for me like you would clap for him. And then he went on to make a joke about the late wife of Wigwe, and then finally did a rebuttal to the statement made by the governor of Rivers State. And what was the statement? You talked about it with Andrew Ifeami on the morning show, Morning Crossfire, and I'm also asking the same question, by the way, as Andrew asked in the morning, and the governor said, see, look at this man, rich man, wonderful man, controlled a lot of sectors, had at least almost everything he needed. However, he's lying in the coffin, his wife, his child, and it shows that this life is vanity, and what matters is the impact that we give to society. And then he turned to the politicians and said, I wonder what you guys are really doing, because it's not about killing and burying and showing you have power. It's about having impact, so that when you're gone, because all of us will be gone eventually, people would remember the impact that you have. About impact. And it's time for us to begin to put impact as members of the political class. And that was the statement he made. That was the statement of the governor. However, there was a rebuttal, and he says, if you don't want to fight for power, don't fight for it. Something in that nature. I don't know if you've watched the video clips on YouTube, or you've seen it online, where Senator Akpabio was on that podium. Supposedly, it was supposed to be giving a condolence message, but it turned out to be what it is. And it's been a culture for a while now, where we use churches, we use occasions to make political statements. I don't even know why we do that. You could just call the media and say what's on your mind. Anyway, Trace, that's the second big story. I'd like to get your thoughts on that one. And there is the third big story, but after the break, I tell you about the third big story, and then I'll open the phone line. So please do stay tuned to 92.3 Nigeria Info. President of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, in person of Godswill Akpabio, one-time governor of Akwa Ibom State, two-time governor